That lady kind of scares me a little. Recording in progress. I always kind of feel like that when I'm driving in my car and my GPS is talking to me. She's like telling me to get off the exit, and then she starts like yelling. She's like, right now, and 300 feet. Like, pressured to go over. Anyways, okay, welcome to tonight's call. Today is January the 27th, and I'm going to be honest, I'm excited for January to be over with. I don't know if any of you feel that same way, but January feels like the longest month of the year, every single year. And I'm just excited for February to start. But I'm really excited about tonight's call. We are going to talk. Hi, Mason. You're up tonight. You're leading tonight. So tonight we're going to just talk about leveling up. We're going to talk about leadership, and we're going to talk about loving people where they're at, because I think that's sometimes something that we can have as a mind block when people are really struggling with detox, or they're always negative, or they're having a hard time finding the positives about Plexus, because I used to be that person. Ask Nicole. But before we get into the nitty gritty, and we're going to learn about lean from Teresa too. So it's like the 4 L's, which we're going to talk about tonight, which I'm really excited. But before we do that, does anyone have any shout outs that are on the call so far? Don't be shy if you have a shout out. I just want to shout all of you out for being here and for being consistent and showing up through hard times. My mom has COVID right now, and as you all know, COVID's going around like crazy. Everyone's sick. Everyone's not feeling well. Life is busy. The school systems are kind of crazy right now with COVID and teaching. And I'm really proud of all of you for staying consistent and showing up. So welcome to tonight's call. We are going to just start, and we're going to dive in, and we're going to talk about loving people. And I have a special place in my heart for this, because Nicole was a huge example to me to love people where they're at. And if you guys are part of this journey and you're realizing, like, I don't know if you guys are doing follow-ups, and when you text that person and they're always negative, like nothing's happening, I'm not pooping, detox is hard. Like I really struggle loving people, and I love people hard when I love. I have a big heart, but that was one thing that I have always struggled with, is finding the positive through the negative of detox. Detox is hard, you guys. If you didn't go through it, I will tell you it's hard, because you feel worse before you feel better. And I want you to know that I want you to find a place in your heart, which I know you all have that, to love them where they're at and to understand where they're coming from and try to pull the positive. I think at times when people like me, or for you, for yourself as an example, we're so used to seeing the negative. We're so used to feeling like crap. We're so used to not pooping. We're so used to having sugar cravings. It's like looking in the mirror every single day. You only see yourself. You only see the small little changes, that it's easy to forget the bigger changes. And so what I've done when I love people is I help them find the bigger changes. I help them look for the positive. So instead of asking, how are you doing? I say, update me. How are your sugar cravings? Like, I totally focus on one aspect, or how are you pooping? Or how's your water intake? Because if you ask someone, how are you doing? They feel like they have to have this grand answer.
Or how are you feeling? They're like, well, I don't, you know what I mean? You have to ask them on like little improvements.
Right. Or I'll say, hey, how is your regimen going? How is the taste of the pink drink? Tell me about your sleep. Tell me about your energy. I really try to pull deep down on how people are doing in a different way, rather than saying, how are you feeling and how are you doing? Because what they're going to say is, oh my gosh, am I supposed to be feeling good right now? Because everybody is different. Like my husband, he saw changes within 6 days. I did not see that, nor did I feel that. It took months for my results to happen. So I want you to know, love people where they're at, because their journey is going to be so different. And as far as the business, you guys, I told Nicole no for 6 months. I know I've said that so many times, but I had a girl this last week who has been following my journey since I started Plexus. She was actually one of my first enrollments, my first 3. She helped me go silver. And I've known her for 15 years. And she told Nicole and I a hard no. In fact, she came to our last gut health night that no one showed. She just was like, hey, can I come hang out with you and Nicole? And she got here at my house, and she was like, I will never share. Like, don't ask. I will never share. I love the products, but this is just not for me. Like, I don't want anything to do with the business. No, I will not share. Well, then like a week later, her and her husband came over for dinner and game night. And she was like, "Hey, Jess, what rank are you at for Plexus?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm at Emerald, but I haven't re-ranked." And my husband jokingly turned to her and said, "She needs another share." And he winked at her. And she was like, "I am not sharing." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't ask you to share. I just asked you to shout her out. Like, you should just shout out my wife." And she was like, "I'll do that. Like, you want me to shout her out, like just to thank her?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's really simple." Like, it was my husband that was like, "Shout her out." So, sure enough, like 2 days later, she shouts me out on Facebook and she goes silver in 2 days. So, she's silver. She sends me a message and she goes, "Okay, I can see why this is contagious. I see that people are struggling," because all of those people that signed up are in a three-way message with me. And little did she know, she's friends with all of these girls, very close friends. She did not know that they were struggling. And it's contagious. You learn that people are struggling in silence and you love them where they're at. And then she's like, "Hey, tell me about the next rank." So I'm like, "Okay, it's senior silver. You need 7 more." She's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Like, I'm good. I'm good." And then I'm like, "Okay, that's totally fine. Like, you should just post once a month." And then she Marco Polos me again and she goes, "Okay, I'll post." So she posted today. Like, I want you to know, I loved this girl, Amanda is her name, where she was at for 3 years, like wanting, because I know like she would be so good at this business. She's a nurse. She were really good friends. She loves to help people, but I never pressured her. And I want you to know, I asked her several times to share. I loved her where she was at. I would respect her answer. And I promise you, if you feel that you are in a dead zone, that you've hit a dead end, that you've been asking every single buddy on your team and no one wants to share, I promise you, people are watching you. The more that you post about the products and the business, they're going to love you where you're at and they're going to watch you as you love them where they're at. And I promise they will share. It's just, it might not be tomorrow. It could be another 3 years from now. But as you stay consistent and as you love them where they're at, they will eventually share. And say you've asked someone, "Hey, you should share. You love these products," and it's a hard no. Change the way you're asking them. Do exactly what my husband did. He did it so naturally. He's like, "Yeah, you should just shout her out." Ask someone, "Hey, would you mind shouting me out on Facebook?" In fact, Nicole has really good verbiage that, Nicole, if you wouldn't mind putting in our team thread of what she asks someone to shout them out. Make it very simple. And you could even say, like, "Hey, I know there are people in your life that could benefit from these products, and I would love to help your family and friends. I will give you anyone that you send my way. You don't have to do the business. I will do it for you. Like, I will help you, and this will help offset your cost." Make it about them and make it about their friends and family. So Nicole will drop that in the thread. I'm going to hurry and read these chats really quick. Oh, yeah. Teresa, I love that. What good things are happening? What hard things are happening? Still here, just eating some dinner. Okay, awesome. And then I was going to say this too. So we do this with my kids, and I think I've shared this on a team call before, but every single night at dinner, we go around and I say, "Okay, Avery, what was your rose today?" And she will tell me her rose. And then I say, "Okay, tell me your thorn. What happened today that was just not fun? Like, what was your thorn today?" And then we talk about her thorn, or we'll do vice versa. But all my kids do roses and thorns. And I do that with my people. Like, tell me your roses. Tell me your wins. Okay, let's talk about your thorns. "Oh, you're not poop. Okay, let's get you pooping because I want those poops to smell like roses. Let's figure this out." And I make it known that there are roses and there's still going to be thorns because we're human, right? So that's where I wanted to talk about loving people. Nicole, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah. I've had like this really strong feeling lately, or I don't even know if you'd call it a feeling, just like my attention has been brought to this subject lately, I guess is what I should say. That the people that grow really fast are the ones that are really good at connecting with people, loving people, and building deep relationships with people. I'm going to use Katie Tucker's new builder. She is, her name is, oh my gosh, Kimberly or Kim. I can't remember which one she goes by, but she just like ranked Ruby in like 2 months, which is like, if you've been here for a while, you know, that's like crazy fast, you guys. And I don't want you to compare yourself and be like, "Well, I didn't do that, so I guess like I'm not good at connecting with people." I'm not trying to say that, but I was talking to my husband and I'm like, he's like, well, how did she do that? I'm like, she is so good at connecting and loving people. He's like, yeah, but you're good at that. And I'm like, yeah, but honestly, like, I think it's something that in a lot of ways I've had to develop, because for a long time, like when I didn't feel good, I went into a shell, right? Like a little hermit. And so I wasn't really focusing on building connections and relationships. And I think that she's been doing that for years on her social media, right? And so I've just had this like kind of epiphany of like, if you want to grow faster, create deeper connections. And I've noticed like, because she's reached out to me a few times, and yeah, she's been building trust for 7 years. And for those of us that like maybe weren't huge into social media, other than maybe like posting about our kids, in a lot of ways, like we have to kind of build that trust through showing up for people and talking to people. And so like one thing I've noticed about Kim that she's really good at is like, she will like pull me into a private thread, even though like she's not even in my direct line, and she'll just like talk to me. She'll tell me things that she loves about me, or things that she, has learned from me. Or like today she was like, oh my gosh, I've known about you for years because I've watched Katie Tucker talk about you. And like, it's just so interesting though, because she didn't need to pull me over into a thread and tell me that. She could have just kept all of that in and been like, she's a sideline, I don't care. But she cares about everyone, and she builds connections with everyone. And I really believe like that's one thing Jessica Halls on this call is also really, really good at, is like building deep connections. And so if that's something that deep down in your heart, you're like, yeah, I kind of need to work on that a little bit, it doesn't always have to be about Plexus. It could literally just be that every day you make a habit of reaching out to one new person and building some form of connection with them without ever bringing up Plexus. This is something that will grow your business over time. You won't see the reward of it right away. You might reach out to people and talk to them and build relationships for a year. You might, reach out to someone today and then be like, well, I have been thinking about that Plexus, and they might bring it up and sign up on the spot. But a lot of them, you're just building connections with them. And so that is like a huge key to growth and longevity of your business. And it is never too late to start getting better at it. In fact, I am trying to get better at it. I'm trying to get better at like building connections with people that I don't know, even on social media, and going to their page and commenting on their things. Like a lot of times we're like, oh, I just want everybody like to like and comment my stuff. And I'm kind of self-conscious because I only got 3 likes or nobody liked it. And we're thinking more inward. But when we think about like every single time someone does like it, think if you like sent them a private message and you were like, thank you for always supporting my posts. Like, how are you? Or think if you went to their page and then you commented on something that they posted. This is key to building deep relationships and showing people that you genuinely care outside of gaining their business, right? You genuinely care about people because this is a people business. And I know you guys all, like Jess said, all of you have huge hearts. It's just not always something that we think to do because we're busy moms and, we're like, oh, I don't have time to talk to people all the time. So I really wanted to just put it in your ear that you don't have to talk to 100 people on one day. It could just be 1 or 2 people a day. And that over time just kind of builds on itself. And then also like making your posts be something that people can really connect to and get value from. I don't know if you guys all watched Super Saturday, but at Super Saturday, they had a guest speaker talk about social media and like your niche. And she said like one of the most valuable things to like growing your following is making shareable content. And why do people share it? Because they connect with it and they got value from it, right? So that's, and not every single piece that you share on social media is going to be shareable, right? Like we aren't these, like, we can't like possibly create content that every single piece is shareable, but that you are putting your real life out there and then also putting stuff out there that is attractive and relatable to people, right? Like that is like the biggest thing. Like people are going to be drawn to doing the business with you because they relate to you, because they feel your purpose, because they feel your heart, right? A lot of times people, even though they want the money, like they don't want to just join something to make money because that feels like slimy and off to them. They want to join you because they feel your purpose and your heart. And this is really vital to growing, you guys. So if you feel like you're a little stuck, if you feel like you're like, I don't know, like I'm not having those good, deep conversations, what could you do? Like, I want you to write something down tonight. What could you do that would kind of shift that for you? How could you shift your social media to be more attractive to people? How can you shift the way that you talk to people? Instead of texting them a message that's verbiage, that's generic, could you send them a voice message and let them hear your voice and your authenticity, right? Like, that is one thing. When someone sends me a voice message, I automatically connect to them. Like, when you hear their voice, right? So that's kind of something that I've been noticing. And I really hope you guys know, like, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Where you're at right now and what you're learning right now is where you're meant to be. And I don't want you to compare yourself to someone like Kim that did rank super fast and be like, well, she's just good at it and I'm not. And so I guess it's not meant to be. I have heard that so many times from people say, well, this is really hard. And if it's not easy, I guess it's just not meant to be. And you guys, nothing about my journey to Emerald has been easy, but I know it's meant to be. So don't fall into that trap and that lie that things are only right if they're easy, because you can develop and grow and become the leader and the friend and the mom and all of the things that you want to be. You can develop and grow. And doing network marketing is like the best way to develop yourself. It pushes you out of your comfort zone every single day. Like, I am constantly out of my comfort zone, but I feel like that is what has really pushed me to be the best version of myself. So just know you can develop all of the skills and traits as a leader that you need to be diamond. Jess, do you have more, or are we going to do the lean?
That's perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Teresa, are you ready? Teresa's going to share about the lean, you guys, and I love this protein so much. So pull out your notes so that you can understand protein a little bit better, or lean a little bit better.
Okay. And I do apologize if I start coughing, you guys. We have COVID again. So I know it stinks. Anyway.
Props to you for showing up anyways. That's incredible. I'm proud of you, babe.
Thank you. So I love lean. It's probably one of my favorite products that Plexus has because it tastes yummy, and I love things that are good for you that don't taste like they're good for you. So lean is the perfect meal replacement, and you can also use it as a snack. It contains 15 grams of whey protein, along with 23 bioavailable vitamins and minerals, including folate. And it has prebiotic fiber for gut health, essential amino acids, prebiotic fiber. I think I already said that. But it has dietary fiber too. And what I like about it is that it does come in 2 flavors. So you can either have vanilla or chocolate. If you have a soy or a gluten like intolerance, or if you can't consume those things, this is soy and gluten free. It doesn't have any artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, or preservatives. And so it's healthy for the entire family. So for like us, I think it's Levi's favorite thing ever. He has it like every morning with his breakfast, and it feels good for me to give it to him because I know that he's getting good protein, but then also a lot of, vitamins and minerals that he needs. The prebiotic fiber that is in our lean is from guar guam, which is an indigestible prebiotic fiber that has been shown to enhance the growth of helpful gut microbes. And it also has digestive enzymes naturally derived from Aspergillus and Aspergillus niger to enhance the digestion of whey protein. And so what that means is basically that our bodies can actually use everything that's in our that's in the lean and use it to turn it into energy and not just go right through our system. And so that is really awesome too. And I think also the coolest thing about lean is that for every bag that is bought, Plexus also donates a bag. And so I think at the very bottom of our site, it always tells you how many bags of lean that they've been able to share so far. And it's so cool to see that, like the business is making a difference in people's lives and people are getting, good protein that they need. So.
Thank you, Teresa. I love the lean. I don't know if everyone has had the lean on this call, but it is one of my favorite proteins. And it's actually one of the only proteins that when I first started Plexus, that wouldn't give me a stomach ache after. I just had a hard time with my celiac disease and bloating to digest protein. So I love lean so very much. And I also love lean protein balls. If you do not have that recipe, I have it and I can share it with you. They're so good. My kids eat them all the time.
You know what
Okay.
I do recently too? I mix the vanilla or the chocolate. It actually is good with both, with frozen blueberries instead of ice. And then I put a scoop of the greens in with it. And then I put a scoop of the collagen in with it. And it's actually, I don't know, it's a little sweet, actually, like almost too sweet because of the greens, I think, but like, it's nice to just kind of get it all in. And I know Linnea likes to drink hers that way too. It's filling. It's a good snack or like a good lunch. So I love it.
I was going to say too, I use it when I make waffles or pancakes, like homemade. I'll replace some of the flour with that and it tastes so much better. Like my kids inhale it when I do that because they just love the flavor.
And you feel so good, like giving your kids good multivitamin lean. I love it. Protein. So that's a good one. Thank you so much, Teresa, for sharing that, especially why you have COVID. Dang it. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to shift gears. We are going to talk about leadership and leveling up. This is kind of a two-part subject, and I would love anyone to give their input, especially those that I cannot see your face. At any time, if you feel like you want to talk or share ideas of how you lead. But I'll be honest, a year ago, was it a year ago? Yeah, it was about a year ago that Nicole and I had a Zoom call with Katie, Christy Jex, and Kimberly. And this is when Nicole decided she wanted to go for Emerald. And I remember being on that call and I was looking at all of their faces on the Zoom screen. And I was like, okay, for the past year and a half, I have relied so much on their leadership because I felt like I couldn't do it. I couldn't be as good as them. I would never be as good as them. I can't do what they're doing. They do it so naturally. They're more relatable. Their stories are better than mine. And I want to share this with you. It was that point in my business that I legit decided to say, okay, I'm going to take my team by the horns, not micromanage, but I'm going to start leading in the dark. Even though it's super scary and it's pitch black, I'm going to be the one to step first into the room before my team does. And I wanted to lead by example. Tiffany, you're so cute. And here we are. Love it. This is the thing. I love you, Tiff. Is by leading in the dark, you're always going to have a sideline or an upline with you leading in the dark. Like I was leading in the dark, Nicole was leading in the dark, Tiffany's leading in the dark. Like all of these people are leading in the dark. Even though we feel like it's scary, the reason why people succeed, you guys, is not because of someone above that person. So Tiffany, let's give Tiffany, for example. Tiffany's people did not order because they saw my post. They did not order because they had a trust or a relationship with me. They ordered because they saw Tiffany post. They saw Tiffany's changes. They trusted Tiffany. I'm just there to be their friend and to support them and to get to know them. And I love making new friends. So it's like a bonus cherry on top for me. But with Tiffany's leadership and with Teresa's leadership and with Jackie's and Becky's and Whitney's, they ordered because of you guys, not because of me or Nicole. And that's the one thing I had to get in my head as I'm looking at this Zoom call. Yes, Nicole has been there from the very beginning because she's been my third way party validation. But Katie, Christy, and Kimberly, these people did not order because of them. They ordered because of me. And I had to remember that they built that trust with me, and I was going to do it in the dark, and I was going to do it scared. So when Nicole said, okay, I'm running for Emerald, I was like, you know what? Let's do a 90-day push. We're going to be exhausted, but let's do it. And in 90 days, we both ranked. However, that was not just me and her. That was our team effort. And I know that all of you guys have wonderful teams right now and momentum. Every single one of you on this call have momentum in your team. You guys have all been consistent, and you have people that are loving the products. So like I was saying at the beginning of the call, if you've asked someone 3 months ago and they said no, I want you to shift the way that you asked and change your wording and say, hey, would you be okay shouting me out? And Tiffany, I don't know if you have the verbiage that you gave Todd to shout Wendy out, but if you could drop it in our team thread, I would love to see what you wrote. If you guys all have verbiage that you love, let's share and give each other ideas, because I want to do something different this month in February. I want you to find 3 people in your back office that are either loving their products, need their products paid for, or want to do the business. Okay, so 3 different things. And I want you to ask them to shout you out. It doesn't have to be a business. Thank you, Tiff. It doesn't have to be a business. It can be about shouting out their results. Like maybe say, okay, what are your top 5 improvements that you have seen? Let's shout you out, because I know someone in your life that wants to lose weight. I know you know someone in your life that has celiac disease. You guys, people are struggling silently. They don't like to talk about their label, but if they can shout their wins out and make it super relatable and natural and not high pressure, people are going to see that post. And then if you can get that person silver, they're going to stay on their products longer, and they're going to help people thrive. They're going to help people feel better. So that's a good example that she asked. And Tiff, I don't know if you have his exact reply, but this is a guy that's actually pretty open on social media. I follow him. I don't know him at all. He's one of Wendy's friends, but he's very open. And so he was a good one to be like, okay, you're open and you talk about everything on social media. Can you shout me out? And he gave her a good response. It wasn't like, okay, I'm going to do it now, but you're planting that seed of sharing, just like you plant a seed with products. I also thought about asking team members if I can do a spotlight for them. That's something I'm going to do in the coming days. This was his reply. Give me a little, then I'll start promoting this. See, like you're planting that seed, and I love that. And I love your idea, Tiff. I actually want to tag on that if that's okay. So I was thinking about it today. What we should do is not shout out your sponsor because you want people to trust you too, but you should thank your sponsor. Like, thank you so much, Nicole, for changing my life. Because in that way, Nicole can go comment, and then you could also tag a sideline or a downline, or, I've seen Tiffany do this a lot. I've seen Melissa do this a lot. I've seen Whitney just recently do this. Use your sponsor story and say, this is my friend. If you have a picture with your sponsor, be like, this is my sister. This is my friend. This is who got me started, who changed my life. So they can actually follow them too and see that third-party validation. A lot of the times, if I have someone on the products under me, I'll be like, hey, my sponsor and my friend who got me going on this, you have no idea who she is, but her name is Nicole Jones. You could go follow her on Instagram. She posts a lot of healthy recipes and fitness and her journey with Plexus, because guess what? That person probably knows someone with Lyme disease. So it sparks that interest in that person to know, okay, it helped me with celiac disease. Oh, it also helps Lyme. And then what I try to do in my back office as well, every single day, is I try to go into people's back office and I literally search every single person on Facebook. I did this with Tiffany's back office like 2 weeks ago, and I added every single person on Facebook. I'll tell you this right now, half of them still haven't responded to me, but I'm planting that seed because I want them to recognize my face as Jessica Halls. Oh, that's the girl that Tiffany knows. They know each other. So if I trust Tiff, I could trust this girl too. And that can build that foundation of, wow, they really are loving what they do and they actually make money from it. Like they're getting paid. This is a job. So it's that third party validation. I love connecting everyone to all of you. Yes, yes. And that's what I love too, Tiff. And that's where I feel the hashtag comes in. You guys can be using Sparking Plexus Health, because then you can kind of tag and follow people. In fact, I will share this story with you. So I don't know if you guys followed Nicole, Tiffany, the 2 Tiffany's and Mary's journey to Align. Did anybody kind of like stalk them like I did? I was having super bad FOMO, but I would notice as these women were there and they were posting pictures with people I did not know or recognize, I legit would follow them because they were tagging in these people. And I'm like, these are my good friends. If they like these people, I am going to as well. So that's another really good social media tip, is tagging in people that you're with and showing credit, like that, giving that credit that they are reliable and fun people to follow. Guys, I did my first business reel and I had a friend who's used the products message me today and asked, so how's Plexus? Do you actually have a team now? People are watching. That's amazing, Tiff. You didn't tell me that. That is so cool. And she's building validation right there. And she already knows that Tiffany was doing a business, but she wants to know how it's going. And I love that. And then I also wanted to add on that as well. So we went to sushi like a couple days after they got back from a line, and I'm sitting next to my friend who does not do the business, has never shared on social media. And she turns to me and she's like, hey, so I'm really good friends with Mary. And I'm like, oh, you know Mary? And she's like, no, I don't. I just follow her. I'm like, oh, how did you know about her? And she's like, oh, I found her through Tiffany Barnes, the other Tiffany that I had no clue she even knew Tiffany. And I don't know Tiffany. And she was like, yeah, I just saw her post about Mary and Tiffany Optop. So I am following these ladies now. And Julia had no clue who the Tiffany's were. But now she's following them because she's like, it sounded like they were all really good friends. And I just wanted to see
Oh,
what
she
they
knew
were
who
like.
Tiffany, my Tiffany was, but she didn't know who Tiffany Optoff and Mary was. And then she went and followed
Yeah.
them, right?
But
Okay.
but like Julia had already told me like, oh, I know those girls. Like, cause I was like, this is Tiffany Optop. That's
She
who I was
knew because
introducing
she
her
followed
to.
us.
And Tim Mary. And she's like, oh, I already know them. And I'm like, and Mary's like, I know
Because
you.
secretly she wants to do the business, but she keeps like saying she does.
Like,
Guys,
were
people change
watching.
their mind all the time. They're going to tell you one thing and then they're going to change their mind. Jessica told me no all the time. This is the thing that like we get it in our head. Like I remember in the beginning, I was like, literally nobody wants to do this. And now I'm like, no, people secretly want to do it. It just takes a long time for them to come around. And it's like a game of chicken, right? Like you got to outlast them. And then when they want to see your success. They want to see that you're committed. They want to see that you stick with it. They want to see that it's not just this little thing that you're going to do and then leave them in the dust. You know, like they want to see your dignity of like, I do what I say I'm going to do and I'm going to freaking show up for you. That is the kind of leader that people want to follow, right? But we got to like get over all those fears of like what people think about us. And we got to just show the freak up and be like, yeah, I'm going to freaking keep asking you to share, you know, like they come around.
And changing the way you ask too. Because sometimes that response, like if Nicole came to me and she was like, you should share these products. To me, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want another business. I don't want a side job. I already work full time. I went to freaking nursing school, for crying out loud. Like I would literally say these things to her. Like, I don't need a side gig. And then she was like, Jess, you've had a lot of improvements. Like, do you know how many people you could reach by the improvements that you've had? And it was just like that shift of how she asked. And to be honest, I posted on a month she didn't even know I was sharing. In fact, I think Matt Jones was like my first like, and I did it like out of the blue. Like it was totally out of the blue. And in fact, when Tiffany joined, we were really good friends. And I knew Tiff had done an MLM prior to starting Plexus. And she even told me through a Marco Polo, I have no interest in doing the business. And I already knew that from the time she ordered. She ordered as a customer, you guys. She paid a lot more money for the products, but I loved her where she was at. So I promise you, as you, Tiff, you're so cute, as you love people and give people the opportunity, that will show your leadership as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to lead to this call, is how to level up, but still have good leadership skills when you don't know what you're doing. Because half the time, you guys, I'm learning too. And I think if you make it to or fake it till you make it, that's really my mantra. Like every day I'm like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to lead, even though I lead scared. I want success for all of you. Every single one of you. I want success, not only in your health and the products, but in this business. I want financial relief for every single person on this call. I want financial security for every single person on this call. And I will do all I can to be the leader I need to be for all of you. But in return, I want you to say that same thing to yourself, that I want you to feel like you can be the leader and to know you can be the leader for the team that you have with you. And I always be here cheering you on and helping you and guiding you. But I also learn just as much from you as I do as my upline. So that's what I love about this business and about an MLM, you guys. Like I was thinking about it the other day, and I've actually talked to a few of you about this. But what is the difference between putting an influencer code in and getting 10% off? What is it different from an MLM? Like, have you guys ever thought about that? Like how often I buy Shine makeup all the time. I don't know if you guys buy anything from Shine, but I love their products. And so I became an ambassador probably like 2 years ago. And I have a code that gets me 10% off. So when I buy products, I use my own code because they pay me the money that I would have made. So I spent $85 the other day on Shine products, and I got an email within like 10 minutes of ordering, and it said, congratulations, you had a customer order. Her name is Jessica Halls, even though it was myself. Please reach out to Jessica Halls and thank her for your order. So I'm like legit thanking myself, but they paid me $34, you guys, for an $80 order. What's the difference? Like, that's why I'm like, we need to be proud of what we do and be open
we're
about
not
it.
promoting random products just to make money. We're promoting a brand that we actually trust and know and stand behind. Like a lot of the influencers, like, and it's not that they can't like lots of different products, they can, but a lot of them are just like, they get sponsored to like promote something and they do, you know, like it's not that they're like super passionate about it.
Right, right. And that's the one thing I love about Plexus is that you guys were all here because in some way, shape, or form, Plexus either blessed your life and your health or your family's life. And when I talked to a coach last year through Plexus, he said only 2% of the company only joins to earn money. The other 98% ordered the products to feel better, and then they turned their product using into a business. And so that's why I think Plexus is so special, is that a lot of people don't realize that we don't have a huge buy-in fee, which is so awesome. And we don't have to distribute or mail out anything. So that's another thing that I have been educating people on is, yes, it's an MLM. I get it. Like I was so skeptical when I started because it was an MLM. But what I didn't realize is why it's an MLM, because how often are we all coaching and on different regimens and checking in with people weekly? My lip sense people never did that for me. I bought lipstick and I never heard from the girl again. She probably doesn't even know who I am if I ran into her in the store. Where I feel like if I am coaching someone with gut health and I've never met them before, I would recognize that person at Costco. And I know that you guys would all feel that same way. So that's where I feel like I'm trying to leader level up. And I want to hear, you guys can either put them in the chat. Nicole, if you want to add anything, like I want to hear what you guys do well with leadership, because I think this is where we can learn a lot from each other is how are you leveling up and doing it scared? If you are sitting at senior gold or silver or emerald, I want you to start saying to yourself in the mirror, your higher rank. Say, I am sapphire. I am B, and I want you to lead like you are ruby. I want you to lead like you're gold. I want you to lead like you're sapphire, because that is how you will take off that cap, that upper limit cap that we've all talked about before, and lead in that way. It's just like cooking a recipe for the first time, or bringing your first newborn home, or getting married for the first time. I remember having the coldest feet, you guys. I hope Josh can't hear me, but we moved into his parents' house the month we got married because our house wasn't finished yet. And I remember sitting in the basement while he was in the shower or something. And I'm like, what the crap did I just do? And I knew I loved him and I knew he was the one and we were perfect. But I remember being like, I just ruined my life. I just got married and I'll never kiss another man ever again. Like, I remember thinking that because I was such a player in high school. I kissed so many guys, but I was scared. And I have to remember, like, as we're doing something we've never done before, it's going to be okay. Like, it's okay to be scared. Do it confident and fake it till you make it. And if there's something you don't know, if there's something that you need to learn about, like even my friend Amanda, she was like, I have no clue what you're talking about when I'm talking to these people about the products. I'm like, that was me 2 years ago. Nicole did it all for me. And I thought I had an education in health and knew nothing. So I want you to know, do it scared, because doing it scared actually builds more trust in that person that you actually know what you're talking about. And they're going to form that relationship with you. So does anyone want to add anything?
I want to add actually, so kind of back to like what I touched on earlier, and also with what Jess is saying about like leveling up. I really I just really want to emphasize, like, you guys, if you want to take it to the next level, like, you have to build your relationships and build trust with people. And so something that I've been doing is like, I've just been intentionally kind of like building a deeper connection with some of my new level ones that I've never met. They literally enrolled off of me the last day of December, off of a post that I made, and I had never met two of them. And so I am just trying to build trust and a connection with them. And so when I check in with them, when she goes, oh, I can't watch that call right now, but I will tomorrow. I'm leaving a high school basketball team. I don't go like this. Oh, okay. Like, that stops that. It shows like I was only interested in her to watch that video. Right. So I go, oh, that's awesome. Like, do one of your children play basketball? And she goes, no, actually my daughter is on the high school drill team. And I said, oh my gosh, I did that too. Like, I did drill and I did cheer. And she goes, I did too. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'm going to be cheering her on, like, from afar. Cause she was like then telling me that her daughter, like, tomorrow is like their big thing to see if they go to like the next level or you have a competition. And you guys, I showed interest in her life. Okay. This is where the magic happens. If it is always business and plexus, people do not feel like you genuinely care about them. And the number one thing, put your hand on me and I'll answer you in just a minute. Put your hand right here. And I don't remember what I was saying, but people just really, really want connection. They want somebody to care about them. They want someone to care about their life, not just what you can give to them if they do the business. And I believe that when you go forward in your life like this, from here on out, just building genuine connection, whether they ever do the business or not, you are building genuine love and a deep relationship with them. You will find business builders. You will. Okay. But when you only text them about the business and the products, and then when they respond with something, there's never anything back, it just kind of stops things. And that's kind of what I was trying to say about Kim earlier. And I really hope that you guys know I wasn't trying to compare any of you to her. I noticed that Teresa said, I think it was Teresa. Who was it? I'm looking. It's been hard. Yes, Teresa. It's been so hard not to compare myself to Kim. She's just flying to the top. However, I get it. She genuinely is a sweet human. And she also talked to me one-on-one, and it was genuine. So I think you guys are all sweet humans. I don't think that Mama, she is and you're not. I hope that you know that. Mama, I know, just a minute. I'm just gonna finish. I will in just a minute. I will quickly get me milk. Just a minute. Yes, just a minute. My kids, you guys. Bedtime is so hard around here. I just wanted to tell you though, it's not, I don't think it's that you're not a sweet human, Teresa, because you are. You're the sweetest person ever, I'm not trying to say that at all. And I hope nobody feels compared. And I wanted to share with you. So my Kim, do you guys know who my Kim is? Teresa's Kim, who's my Kim? Does anybody know? Sammy. She came around when I was in a dead zone, when I was struggling, when I hadn't enrolled anyone in 3 months. And she came around and skyrocketed to the top. Well, not to the top, to Emerald. And I wanted Emerald so bad. And I compared myself a lot. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just not good at building connections, and I'm just not natural at this. And maybe I just don't have what it takes. And maybe I don't have the leadership skills. And I beat myself up a lot about her and compared myself a lot to her. And I thought, I just don't have what it takes or lead the right way. But you know what it also did for me? It lit a fire under me, because I was like, it's possible. That's what it did for me. It showed me it's possible. And because I was starting to lose belief, right? I was losing belief in the journey. So I was like, wait, it's possible if she's doing it, A. And B, it showed me, he wants somebody to get him milk. Can you help him? Okay. So it showed me it's possible, but it also showed me that there are other people out there that will do it. So it wasn't just possible for me, but I'm like, there's other Sammys out there. I just have to find them. There's other people that will jump in and skyrocket to the top, but I've got to be the leader to lead that person, right? I've got to be who that leader needs, because she's not going to follow someone that isn't building connection and that isn't doing the work herself, right? Like if you want a Sammy or a Kim, like you got to show her that you're the leader for her. Does that make sense, you guys? So I want you guys to do an exercise, and if anyone wants to put any input in, you can, but I want you tonight, and please do it. I know your brain is going to go, I don't need to do this. Please do it for yourself. I want you to write down the rank that feels impossible that you want. Okay. Maybe it's emerald for a lot of you. Maybe it's diamond, whatever it is. I want you to write down that rank in your head that you're like, if I could just get there. I want you to write down what you did to get there. So write a letter to yourself as if you have already achieved it. Okay. And I want you to write down the date. So I want you to be like, if you're Teresa, I want you to be like, dear Teresa, it's July 31st, 2022, and you are an emerald. And this is exactly what you did to get there. Right. And then I want you to tell yourself, because I really do believe that deep down in your heart and in your mind, you know what it takes to get there. You know all the answers that you're seeking validation for from other people. Okay. And I want you to unlock all those answers in yourself, because my way won't work for you. Okay. It's got to be authentic to you. You have got to be the leader that steps up and creates it. I can't create it for any of you. Jess can't create it for any of you. And I think as leaders, oftentimes, like, we kind of feel guilt when someone gets stuck, that we're not doing more, that we're not a better leader, that we're not helping them more. But truthfully, your upline can't get you there. You have to unlock that special power within yourself that knows exactly what to do. And that goes back to what Jessica talked about like a week or two ago, I think, about trusting yourself. Do you trust yourself? I love Tiffany Optoff's post a couple days ago. She made a post that said, would you bet on yourself? Oh, that like hit me in the freaking heart. Like I was like, heck yes, I'd freaking bet on myself. I show up. Like I've been showing up for 3 freaking years. You know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of you that wouldn't bet on yourself. Would you bet on yourself? So write that letter to yourself that tells you all of the things that you did to get there, because deep down, you know the answers, you guys, and you are the only leader that can get you to emerald. You are the only leader that can get you to sapphire. You're the only leader that can get you to diamond. Okay. And I want you guys to level the freak up. Show up, change something, do something different. Try something new every day that makes you feel so uncomfortable until it feels supernatural, and then try again. Okay. So that's all from me. Sorry, I got a little fired up in here, but I love you all. And I want you guys to know you can freaking do it. You can do it. If I can do it, God, Linnea knows I'm a small town girl, you guys. Like I could cry right now. I'm a small town girl from a little town of like what is it? Like 2,000 people. I didn't just magically have like this huge network of people that I knew. You know what I mean? Like you can do it. Linnea, you can do it. Like it doesn't matter where you're from. You can build a social media platform and reach people that you have never met. Anybody can do this. You just have to be creative. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to try new things, right? You guys can all do it. I believe in you. But do you believe in yourself? Would you bet on yourself? I hope you would. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Nicole, for sharing all of that. I'm like feeling sweaty over here, you guys. I'm like, let's do this.
You
Let's go
guys
run
got
a marathon.
quiet, and now I'm like, shoot, did I say something wrong? Whew.
No, just like, whoo, I'm feeling the heat from over here. Okay, I want to hurry and share one more thing that I've been trying to do recently, and I want you guys to do the same or try to. But so what do? Is I go to my Facebook, and you know how you start scrolling and you see all these Plexus posts, and you're like, okay, I've got to post on these Plexus posts. Like there's Whitney's post, you guys, which is a great post and a great book. I love this book. But what I like to do is I like to scroll through 20 posts, because if I don't time myself, I end up spending way too much freaking time on social media, and I just don't have time for that. So what do? Is I start to scroll, and I will go through 10 Plexus posts and post on every single one of them, no matter how I'm related to that person. Sideline, downline, someone on Plexus that I've never even met. I don't even know where they're at in the business, because I follow a lot of people that are not on our team. And I will post on their account. Why? Because I'm forming a relationship with them. And as I support them, guess who's going to support me back? Those people. Okay. So I do 10 every single day. This has been happening since the beginning of the year. Then as I'm scrolling, I find people. So like there's Nicole's post. That would be my Plexus post with intermittent fasting. I haven't posted on that yet. There's Tiffany's. Okay. So I'm going through posts, making sure I've commented. As soon as I start to see a personal post, like my friend here, I comment. That's number one. And I make it personal, and I make it, oh my gosh, she's really struggling today. It looks like she had a really bad day. That's what it says right here. She had a really bad day. I'm going to find out why. Sorry that you had a really bad day. I'm here if you need to talk. And I genuinely do mean that. So that's what I've been doing. And I feel like it has been building my relationships, and it's also changing my algorithm. And the reason why is I used to only comment on Plexus posts because I was not really on social media a ton other than my kids. And so as you post on Plexus posts, guess what's only going to fall on your algorithm? Plexus posts. Facebook is actually really a creepy stalker boyfriend. And so is Instagram and your phone. The more you talk about it and the more you comment on certain things, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you start talking about a mattress right now, I'm talking about a mattress right now, and Siri is now listening to me, mattresses are going to start to pull up on my feed. But I like to do that 10 times on non-Plexus people. And then it starts to build up my algorithm on people that I don't really see much, that don't really know me. And then my posts are going to start to fall on their thread. So I want you to know that's what I do. And I've done this for now since January 1st. And I've gotten 2 enrollments from people that never have posted on my stuff, including a boyfriend from Canada. He enrolled last week, and it was because I started commenting on his stuff. He is in the gasoline business, and gas prices are going up, and he's always posting about it. So I'd be like, yes, gas prices suck. Like I would just start saying random stuff, and it put my post on his thread. And so then he was like, I know that you've done Plexus for a long time, but now is the time I need to lose weight. Can you help me? And I mean, Josh, you guys, he's an ex-boyfriend, but Josh knew that he reached out to me, and he signed up last week, and he's from Canada, and I haven't talked to him in like 12 years. So do that. I challenge you to do that by just building and forming relationships and genuine friendships with people and friends and family. You guys, I'm going to be honest. Whitney Norman is on this call tonight. And Whitney, what's our age different? Probably 8 years, I would say. Whitney and I only saw each other at family functions. How sad is that? Only at family parties and holiday get-togethers. And I want you to know I had no clue in a million years that her or her sister were struggling with their health. Not even my Aunt Joan, maybe a little bit more than my Aunt Joan, because her and I have a lot of similar health issues, but I would have never known that she was struggling, and we are related. There are so many people in your network right now, relation or not, that need your posting, that need your help. And to do that, you have to build that. You have to be that messenger for Facebook. So that is my wisdom tonight, that I'm so happy that we're all here. I'm so grateful to be part of this team. I'm grateful for all of you. And I'm always going to be here for you. I know this is the last couple days of the month. Let's create some magic. I know I shared in my team thread today that I will be covering membership for anyone that enrolls on my team today and tomorrow. This is in honor of my sweet, sweet mother-in-law who would have turned 60 tomorrow. I want to answer people's prayers, and that's something that she lived by. Her favorite song, you guys, is Living on a Prayer. And that is my motto, is I want to live off of a prayer by answering people help in their hearts and their homes. So I love you all. I hope you guys all have a great night and a great week, and text me if you need anything. Okay. I love you.